All right, let's get into it. The AI space is it's absolute chaos right now, and we're starting to see the battle lines being drawn, not just in code, but in philosophy. You've got leaks dropping left and right, you've got these wild rumors flying around, and you have the two biggest players on the planet, taking fundamentally different paths to what comes next. One is aiming for the stars, literally trying to cure disease. The other, well, let's just say they're aiming a little lower. This is a battle for the timeline, a battle for monetization, and honestly, it's a battle for the soul of this technology. If you're trying to figure out what's real and what's just smoke, you're in the right place. Let's break it down. We now allegedly have the release date for Gemini 3. So this internal memo, or what looks like one, is absolutely ripping through X right now, supposedly showing Google's internal timeline. It's got a whole list of major milestones, but there's one that matters. Gemini 3, apparently, they're planning to launch it on October 22nd. Now look, obviously you have to take this with a massive grain of salt. It's a leak on social media. It's not always the most reliable source, to put it mildly. But here's the little detail that's making me think this is legit. October 22nd, that's a Wednesday. And if you've been tracking these launches for as long as I have, you know that is classic Google. They almost always roll out their big releases on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It fits the pattern. And even if that exact date ends up being off by a few days, here's the real kicker. Here's why I'm almost certain we'll see Gemini 3 before the end of October. Forget the leak for a second. Known red teamers are already posting demos of it. But this is where things get weird, because while Google is apparently planning for late 2025, the whispers around OpenAI are telling a completely different story, a story that is specifically designed to make Google's timeline look ancient. And this is where the narrative gets hijacked. A CNBC correspondent citing a disclosed OpenAI investor, a guy who is, and I quote, very plugged in, is out there saying that GPT-6 is coming before the end of this year. Not 2026, this year.
The products that they're rolling out are extraordinarily good. Soar 2, for example. Right. And we're going to have, I know Brad Gerstner's coming on in a little bit. I was just chatting with him. I mean, ChatGPT-6 is coming out before the end of the year, and I just think we're going to see these step function improvements in the product. If you do that and you're in the OpenAI ecosystem, you're okay in terms of vendor financing.
So let that sink in for a second. OpenAI just dropped GPT-5, a model that took them 2.5 years to build, a monumental effort. And now the whispers are that GPT-6 is coming in the same year. It's not just game-changing, it's a complete shattering of the established development timeline. Look, you have to understand the expectation that comes with the GPT brand. The leap from GPT-3 to GPT-4 wasn't an upgrade, it was a phase shift. The same thing happened from 4 to 5. Sure, at the beginning people complained about GPT-5's personality, that it felt a little off. But they tuned it, and now the model is scary smart. So if you just draw the line on the graph and project that same acceleration trajectory forward, GPT-6 lands in a territory that a lot of people are going to start calling AGI. And this isn't just my speculation. Sam Altman himself said it in a recent interview. He basically said the next iteration of models will be capable of inventing new knowledge, not just remixing and parroting what's already on the internet. We're talking about a fundamental shift from synthesis to genesis. This is the real question here. Will OpenAI maintain this aggressive pace, or will they slow down? Right now, every signal points to the accelerator being pushed flat to the floor. So while we're all sitting here trying to figure out if these leaks are real, we are missing the bigger game. This isn't just about shipping a product anymore. This is a high-stakes psychological operation. But the question remains, what are they actually building with all this power? And the answer to that reveals a chasm in their core philosophies that is just staggering. All right, this is where the story pivots. It goes from a corporate horse race to a fundamental question about the purpose of AI. If you want to understand the deep philosophical divide between Google and OpenAI right now, you don't need to look any further than what they were promoting on the exact same day. It is without a doubt one of the most jarring juxtapositions I've ever seen in this industry. First, Google, while all this rumor mill stuff was churning, their CEO, Sundar Pichai, posted this. Read that again. An AI model generated a novel hypothesis about cancer that was then validated in a lab by scientists. This is the dream. This is the sales pitch for AI that we've all been hearing for a decade. It's not about writing better emails. It's about augmenting human intelligence to solve the hardest problems we have. It's complex, it's prestigious, and Pichi makes it a point to say that they're open sourcing the model for other researchers to use. This is the Google DeepMind brand in a nutshell. High science, societal benefit, a nod to the open community. This is them playing the long game, building institutional trust, arguing that AI's true purpose is to uplift humanity. It's a powerful, compelling vision. Hold that thought, because around the same time this story breaks about their biggest competitor in December, as we roll out age gating more fully, and as part of our treat adult users like adults principle, we will allow even more like Erotica for verified adults. I mean, you cannot make this up. On one hand, you have an AI co-authoring breakthroughs in cancer. On the other, you have reports that OpenAI is considering allowing sexually explicit content to drive user growth and subscriptions. The divide is breathtaking. And let's be clear, this isn't some random decision. It's a cold, calculated business move. That stat he cited, that nearly a third of interactions are romantic or sexual, is the key. What this tells us is that the astronomical pressure to monetize its 800 million users is forcing OpenAI's hand. The $20 per month for Plus is not enough, not to justify the valuation, not to pay the GPU bills. They are in a venture-backed sprint and they need to show exponential revenue now. So they're looking at ads for Sora, and they're allegedly considering opening the floodgates on Erotica because the data shows it's a massive untapped market. This isn't a moral judgment, it's a strategic one. Google is playing the long game, aiming for deep integration into science and enterprise. OpenAI, for all its talk of AGI, is being forced by the market to find revenue in the most basic of human behaviors. One is a vision of AI as a tool for discovery. The other is a vision of AI as a mirror for desire. And that desperate search for a viable business model is what's fueling the mad dash towards the next true paradigm shift. So when you pull the camera back, the chaos starts to make a terrifying amount of sense. What we're witnessing is a fundamental divergence in strategy born from different pressures and different cultures. You have the timeline war, a battle for perception, with OpenAI using shock and awe PR to create an impression of insurmountable speed while Google plods along with an engineer's deliberate pace. Under that, you have a philosophical war. Is AI a tool for solving humanity's grandest challenges, or is it a product that needs to find the fastest path to monetization, even if that means catering to our most basic of human behaviors? And all of it, every single move, is driven by the race to the ultimate prize, a future of agentic commerce, where the company with the most trusted AI becomes the new gatekeeper of the global economy. So, the final question is, which strategy wins? Is it OpenAI's lightning-fast, consumer-focused monetization at all costs blitz that captures the market before anyone can react? Or will Google's steady science-first, enterprise-focused marathon ultimately build the more powerful and trusted foundation? Let me know your take in the comments. This story is changing by the hour, and we are going to be tracking every single move. If you got value out of this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on the most important story of our lifetime, make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.